What's up guys, welcome to another episode of Digital Art with Jesus Conde, and today we're going to be doing these couple of paintings. Starting with this one, it's kind of like a spider tank, and then we're going to be talking about these few kind of ships fighter type. Before starting, I wanna promote the work from Jonathan Vera Quintero. He posted this on the Share Your Art group. The link is in the description if you want to share your art too, and I will pick one every week to show and to promote you guys. So for the spider tank, I started doing as a really simple 3D mesh. I will be trying to upload 3D tutorials soon. Not sure when, but I will try to do it as soon as possible. But as you can see, it is not advanced modeling at all. It's very basic stuff, not too much detail on the modeling. It's basically just block shapes, big shapes that I can use later to work with the perspective or repaint on top, and basically something that is very quick for me to do, but it doesn't take too much time to do. Doing it this way allows me to work on the lighting and put in some kind of a testing perspective and everything that I want. What I'm doing right now is adding some parts that I bought from the internet that I've been collecting over time, and it's basically just something to get me a little bit more detail on the parts that I think I'm gonna need them the most. Mostly will be the joints and stuff like the cannon, although I could I could do a model of that cannon pretty easily. Whatever time I can save is very valuable, so I will try to avoid doing very complex modeling as much as I can. That depends of what you want to do. If you want to work more on 3D than 2D, that's fine. You can do more 3D than 2D and add more detail on the modeling, but we have to remember that we are not 3D modelers, we are concept artists, and our job is not to do the final model. Our job is to present an idea. So as long as the model is easy to do, I will say there's no problem on using 3D. But if it starts to get too complex, like a character, a creature, or something like that, for me it's no. It's definitely going to be drawing mostly, and less of 3D modeling. And this render that I'm using is Octane render. Some people know it. I noticed that not too many people use it because it's paid. You have to like buy the license and stuff like that, so people doesn't use too much pay stuff as far as I can see. And you could do kind of the same thing with the render that 3D Max comes with. The new ones, I'm using 12, the 2016 version, and if you have the 17 or 18, you will have the Arnold render, I believe, and that one is very powerful. There's a lot of movies that have been rendered with that render, and it's very powerful. But this is the one that I got right now. That's the one that I'm using and I'm used to right now. And here I got in a little bit of trouble because I was trying to work with the same technique that I was doing the other ones, which is just having a couple of colors from a random color palette without me picking the color myself. And I got a little bit confused after with that background in green. I didn't know what to do with it, so I have to come back and fix that. But at this point, what I'm doing is just basically a sketching on top of everything, because in my mind the only part that are going to keep exactly the same are the joints. Everything else was going to be just painted on top. Where did I got in trouble is that for some reason I like the stuff in red. Seems like that. So I kept the robot in red, and turns out I already have a couple of other paintings with red ships or red material, and I thought, well, it doesn't look too much difference when you see all the images. Everything is in red. So after doing these sketches, I started to paint it. I was like, I cannot have everything in red, so I started to turn colors, to have some different colors, and that's when everything got a little bit confusing for me in terms of the process of what step to do, and it was really painful for me to get back on track, and I lost a lot of time. I actually think I lost a little bit of the recording at some point. It got very confusing to work on this painting, so it was very painful. Some people liked it, but it wasn't what I had in mind. I really wanted to enjoy doing this one, and it turned out to be a nightmare. And it kind of turned out to be poor quality at the end. I believe the finishing wasn't so clean. Some stuff I really wanted to keep working on it, but I'm trying to push myself to put one image per day in the small amount of time that I have to do these paintings. And if that's the amount of time I have to treat it like that, because that's how it is in real life. You only have a little bit amount of time to do some things. You have to do it in that time, and if you don't, well, you're not doing it properly. You kind of like falling behind, because at the end what matters is the idea, right? Alright, so you will say it doesn't look that bad right now, but this is when everything started to kind of fall apart. Me trying to change the colors. You will see what I'm talking about later. But as you can see, I got the 3D model done, then made some a sketch on top, which makes completely different shapes from what I have to with the model. But the model helped me figure out the perspective pretty easy, like with no trouble at all. And here it's me like trying to just push the painting to see what ideas can I find. And later when I got a little bit more relaxed when I started to add detail, because I like the design, but it was really painful to do. This painting it was really hard. As far as everything else, like the environment and all the stuff, I didn't care too much, and that's what I believe the image lacked. The quality didn't look high quality for me. Which is weird, because a lot of people told me this is one of the best that you've done, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's like one of the worst that I've done. See, this is when I started to try changing colors and trying to find new things. Maybe something like a sunset where I already had like red ships, red vehicles. So I started to do this so I can change the color later, some kind of a mask. And at this point I'm basically just trying to fix mistakes that I did, and trying to think, well, what's the best way that I can find to get done with this image. And it stopped being fun for me at this point for some reason. I'm like, wow, I'm really trying hard here, nothing is flowing at all. I tried to test different skies that I bought on the internet, and some of them look interesting. I'm here on testing to see maybe combining colors from few of them and stuff like that. Yeah, and it got a little bit weird at some point. Like I didn't know what I was doing anymore. I'm like trying to just go ahead and trying to finish this painting as soon as possible. I'm gonna take a few minutes to say thank you for the people that has been following me on Twitter and Instagram. I really appreciate it. For the people that post content on the Share Your Art group, you guys are posting really interesting stuff, really creative and different. Some people are doing a lot of traditional stuff. Some people want to do stuff without knowing too much of the fundamentals, but that's okay too, as long as you keep doing it. but I will say you guys have to work on those fundamentals. And yeah, okay, so here I'm starting to add detail slowly on the painting and trying to fix few things, trying to add value on others. At the end, I really like the idea of this reddish cockpit, and then I changed my mind. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. This painting was kind of a disaster, actually. And at the end, I'm like, okay, so this is supposed to be a tank. It shouldn't be green. It should be more like camouflage color or something. And that's what I lost myself on the what the hell am I doing. So for next week, I'm gonna try to do a few more military vehicles, maybe using more 3D than 2D to see what happens, to see if I like that process more, and maybe using something that could be actually usable. Like for example, if you're doing some painting in some kind of a desert, you should be able to blend with those desert colors, so it will have some kind of a desert camouflage pattern or stuff like that. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking lately that I should be doing, or more like flat colors, less sporty look. The thing that I've been told is that some of my vehicles look very sporty, like very racing like type of thing, which is cool because some of them are supposed to be kind of like race cars and stuff like that. But you shouldn't think of that for the military kind of vehicles, because you're supposed to actually be hidden, or people cannot see you from the distance too easy. It should be like that, I believe. So having a lot of colors and brands and stuff like that doesn't look like it will be useful for those purposes. Here is me trying to fix the composition a bit, adding more space on left and right, and doing it all by painting, hand painted. And I really could add more atmospheric perspective to that background, so it didn't look too flat on the background. But yeah, I was already like trying to finish this thing as much as possible, as fast as possible. I was taking too much time doing this one, and that's no good. I have a lot of other stuff to do, and I only have a limited amount of time to work on these images. I added a planet in there in the background. It seemed a little bit, it could make sense because of the design that I was doing. It could make sense that it's in another planet or something like that, because I don't think you will use something like this on Earth. Like, it's not necessary, I believe. And if it was Earth, you will have colors, Earth-like colors, like military colors of Earth, more like a camo or something, or flat colors, or like a gray, or maybe the same color of the ground, with maybe a few little lines here and there. It will be more realistic that way. Well, some people liked it at the end. That's important for me, that some people actually enjoyed this design. That's cool. And we're about to start the next one in a few minutes, so stay tuned, please. Give me a thumbs up if you want me to keep doing this, or ask any questions that you may have. If you're really interested in the 3D part of this thing, like how to do it, I could make a few tutorials, or maybe just one big tutorial that you can just follow from start to end of how to do a 3D scene from beginning to end, but something very simple that you guys can follow, like with boxes and stuff like that, and that you can use actually. So this is the final image for that one. I really hope you like this process, and we are going to start the next one in a few seconds. For the next one is basically the same thing. I use a lot of 3D. It's very simple 3D, it's not that complex. It's basically just boxes and copies of boxes and stuff like that. And it's mostly using extrude and creating some splines here and there, like and dividing the objects in more parts, doing a lot of bevel. And those are pretty easy stuff to do. I promise, it's really simple. And here I'm trying to use the same shape to make this shape more complex, trying to add it somewhere, and that's what I'm going to be working with. That's my starting point. Here is the cockpit, trying to do and some kind of wings. Also, something that I was trying to do in this one is to take it in more like okay, let's try to keep the 3D shape as much as possible and change as little as possible with painting. But at the end, I really changed it a lot. But the idea at the beginning was to change it as little as possible. Here I'm trying to use the same shape to make it more complex. Here I'm already trying to think of what point of view I could have. At the end, I'm trying to look for something interesting, or at least that's the idea, to get an interesting image. So at some point you will see that I struggle a little bit with the point of view to show this ship, and I end up looking something from kind of like from the back, which I believe was the most important point of view. Not the most important, the more interesting point of view of this ship particularly. If I make a small stop, it's because I'm drinking a little bit of coffee. It's necessary for me right now. And yeah, you can see here I'm trying to see, okay, where does this look cooler, or maybe if I do this change here, how the wings will look if we were this way, placed this way, and things like that. And I actually really like the shape of this ship. I believe I'm going to reuse it somehow soon. So yeah, you will see in this one again. Okay, so this is then the the point of view kind of that I'm going to use. And I'm trying to figure out the lighting that I'm going to have. Then it was, okay, let's try to put some color in there, but I wasn't sure what color to use. And as default as I can be, I tried to use red at some point. You will see that. That's what I was struggling a lot in the other painting. This actually came first. This painting came first than the other one. Yeah, something like there will be like the end of the. Here I applied a texture. That part of the video I lost it somehow, but it's basically just putting a texture that I had with a kind of like a part of an engine of a plane, and it's like all gray with rivets, and there is some red parts on it, and you will see that it looks like complex because of those red parts in everywhere, but it's actually just a small picture, doesn't have anything too important. Here I'm trying to find what the best point of view is, what the best lens is, and things like that. So now that I have the this image, I can start editing. I put the image in like some kind of a small object, and here you can see this is the gallery that I was telling you about. I took a few pictures of planes when I was a little trip with my mom and dad, and I'm going to try to put some parts of those planes in here, although they don't look too much like they fit in the image. Some of them I get rid of, some of them I use, but it's just this part that I keep. The other ones I just take them off. They don't fit at all. I also got like a package of plane parts from Photobash.org. Those guys put up really nice photos of everything. Those are the guys from the Level Up YouTube page, and those are really nice pictures to work with. These flames, I got it from them. I got a lot of skies. I got a lot of you know, a lot of material that you can use from different parts of the world, different themes. Photobash.org, they sell it. I believe at a good price for the packages. They come with a lot of content. It's not like they're going to rip you off your money or something like that. They believe it's okay for what they're offering. Here I'm trying to do more, like a more cool looking cockpit, but I'm struggling with it. And here I started to do it with vectors because I was losing my mind doing it all painting. And what else? Yeah, here I'm trying to like fix some things. Some parts are really blocky. It shouldn't look that way. I'm basically just adding more complexity to the image overall, but it's not like adding just random details. It's stuff that I believe should look that way. There I needed that engine in the back. I got it from those photos that I'm telling you I got from the Level Up guys, Photobash.org, and I just took that whole part and put it in there. A lot of painting with selections to make it look clean. A lot of stuff we just paint and struggle to have a clean line on the edges, and it's really hard to have a clean line on the edges, by the way. But if you do it with selections, at the end is very easy. But then that means you have to either cut everything at the end or just work with a selection. You work everything with a selection and that's it. Here adding some dirt on those ships to make it look less new, like with some damage on them. And here I'm struggling with the background, so basically I just go back to my normal thing. When I don't know what to do, I just use a photo of something, of the ones that I bought before. Here I'm trying to do, I wanted to do something close to the ground, but it doesn't look too good. So at the end I just try to put a sky, and that will look way, like 10 times better. The cool thing is about working with photos is that you can try stuff really quick if you have a lot of them. If you have a little amount of photos and you have to be constantly looking, and you don't know what you have, it's very hard to work with photos. But you have like a library of stuff that you use constantly. Obviously you have to keep updating it a lot of times. But if you know what you have, it's easier. You eventually have like that whole library of images. You have it on your mind, and you know what you can do and what you cannot do, or what images you need to get and which what you don't. And there we go. I got the idea of using the sky later because I was trying to always push like a lighter background, and I'm like, if I'm gonna have a light background, just use the sky, which is super light. That's it. That one is so close to the background, it looks like it's going to crash or something. So the bluish background, lighter background, all the stuff, I was like, oh, let's just do a sky and that's it. And it looked 10 times better after. I went to my sky library, used this one, which is one of my favorites, by the way. That same sky. Yeah. And now I'm just adding little tiny things here and there, fixing stuff, getting rid of stuff that is just making noise, doesn't make sense or something, refining some shapes. And the few last touches which are on post-production are very important. Very, very important. I wanted to add like a trail of other ships that passed before or something. So I just copied this same like lines of smoke, just put them in there in the back. And obviously we need some flares. Flares make things look cool almost instantly, but you have to be aware of how much you're using them, or it will look like Star Trek or something. Alright, so this is it for this episode really. I really hope you like these processes, and I'm gonna tell you a couple of stuff here now at the end, but if you already know all that information, you can go peacefully. So at the left I have my Instagram account, Jesus Conde Concept. My Twitter account is Jesus C Concept. I have the Share Your Art group, which is a group where you can put up your images, and I will share one per week, the one that I like the most. And I want to promote some channels. The EMAC channel, which is the hand with grabbing the pencil, is really cool. They do the IMC Paris event every year, it's really nice. Easy Sosa, which is a really nice artist. she has a lot of interviews with top artists in her channel. And in Spanish, if you would like to, if you know Spanish too, I have the Barus Studio. He has really cool tutorials about ZBrush. And Ramon 19, he's very good with drawing, and his wife Caleriana is very good with drawing too, but it's more like a cute kind of style. It's really nice, more girly. But check them out, and if you get there, let them know that you guys came because I said so. So thank you very much, and see you next time, guys.